My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and the Deluxe DLC series in the American Southwest. Before we get started with today's episode, there's a bit of channel housekeeping, if you will, to take care of. The last few episodes, I think last maybe 4 or even 5 episodes, I recorded them about 3 weeks ago in bulk and obviously had them set for staggered release to fill out the last few weeks because things have been intensely busy here in real life. I foresaw it coming, which is why I went ahead and pre-recorded a lot of episodes just to fill in the time between then and now, but thankfully that's all done and dusted and things are back to something resembling normality. That does mean that any comments in the past 5 or 6 episodes, I haven't been able to pick up on them yet, just because of how busy things have been. So if you've been leaving the comments and suggestions, I will be getting around to them over the next few days, but it does mean if you've come up with alternate suggestions to things that we've been trying in this series, I haven't been able to implement them just yet because of that very reason. However, like I said, we do seem to be back to normal now in real life, so we should be back to business as usual, if you will. So today we're starting here. This is Nashville. We're just on the mesa overlooking Nashville. We can see the mixed station in the middle, freight and passenger. We can also see the roads are upgrading to the modern variant of the roads. We've now got traffic lights being spawned in at places. Some of the buildings are also looking a little bit more modern as well. I think today what we're going to do is a nice simple episode. We're going to focus primarily on passenger side of things today. I'd like to get a mainline connection up to Knoxville from here. We already have one into Carrollton. And then I'd also like to connect into some of the smaller towns nearby. We have Fort Lauderdale nearby, and Green Bay isn't too far away either. So if we can get those 3 done today, I think that'll be a success. With regards to connecting to Fort Lauderdale, I am tempted to try something a little bit different insofar as, because the 2 towns are relatively close together, I might even opt for a tram connection between the 2 cities rather than a mainline or a rail connection. But I'll make a determination on that when we come to it. The first thing I'd like to get done is a line up to Knoxville. Now, we do already have a main line on connecting the north to the south. We are connected from Carrollton to Knoxville already with a main line. So I think the plan is just to connect into that existing infrastructure from here and then have the 2 trains share that stretch of track between the north and the south. So let's bring up the user interface. We're in 1928, so obviously we're on easy mode, so we don't really need to concern ourselves about the money and the cash flow, but regardless, they are both looking very healthy, and we're almost up to 750,000 items of cargo shipped on our network, as we can see, 746,500 and climbing ever upwards. In terms of passengers moved, we're up to 100,000, which is pretty good going. So let's just zoom out then so we can get our bearings. Just need to turn the camera. There we go. So are we? No, that's the right orientation. So that main line that runs north to south, it's this line right here. We can see one of the trains on it already. This is the Knoxville to Carrollton service, making good money and pretty popular, as we can see, which is always pleasant. And we have this line here which runs from Nashville to Carrollton. So I think the easiest way to get all these interconnected is to perhaps put a junction here that branches this way and connects into the north-south main line. That should be relatively straightforward and easy to do, and then we can just assign a platform here and make sure we assign a platform up in Knoxville as well for the Knoxville to Nashville service. So let's jump straight in and make a start on that. We're not going to use high-speed tracks just yet, although we are getting close to the time when we might want to consider using those. And again, we're still avoiding the catenary at this point in time. And let's have this junction stay at the same gradient. That should go some way to ensuring that we have a nice smooth crossover when it comes to laying the outer track and it crosses over this track just here. And we'll test that just now by getting the node wherever it is. There we are. And bringing you out, and if we have a look, this blue overlay can mask it a little bit, but to me that looks pretty flat and pretty level, and you don't have that weird effect where one track is higher than the other and it just looks bad. So far so good. So what we're going to do then is bring it straight over. We want to keep as high speed as possible on this. And I have discussed this before, but if your inner track is 75 miles per hour, because this one is the tighter angle, then you're guaranteed that your outer track is also going to be 75 miles per hour. So if you're ever doing a corner and you want to make sure both tracks have maximum speed, then also, always use the track which is going to be the tighter radius. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see about connecting in just here. Now hopefully this will be a nice smooth overlap as well. It is hard to tell how it's going to look with just the initial track, but once you've got the initial track in place, it's very easy just to get the second track and have a quick look at that. And again, that looks pretty good. This side is probably possibly a little bit elevated, but at a glance it looks perfectly fine. So we'll take that and then we'll just connect this into the track down here, wherever it is. There she blows, like so. So now we need to look at sorting the signals out for this new junction that we have just created. And we'll use the 2-head searchlight for this, and these want to be one way, of course. So we'll have one there, and we'll also have one here. We'll probably want one here as well, to wait for that train to clear. There we go. And we then want to think about maybe having a few signals close to the junction, which could cause the trains or the carriages back end to overhang the junction, but the idea is it'll make a short block, so the train should clear it quickly, so anything that is waiting to pass on through isn't waiting too long. So we'll put a corresponding short signal there. So we have one there, we have one there, and we have one there, so we should be good to go. And our next set of signals is there, so that's fine for that block. Our next set of signals is there, so that's fine for that direction. All we need to do now is put some blocking signals in along here, and then repeat this process at this junction that we've just created just there. So a couple of blocks, we could probably fit 2 or 3 in this stretch of track, like that. And then we want to go and put our short signals in here for this junction. So these are the short signals to clear the block first of all, and now we want to put the actual junction signals in. So there and there and there, and we could probably squeeze in another 2 blocks down here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll put a block there and a block there. Let's just have a look at the rest of the route here. Yeah, our next block is all the way down here on this route, so I think it's worthwhile going ahead and putting some extra blocks in on this stretch. So we'll go ahead and put one in the tunnel using the dwarf signals. We'll put a block here, and we'll put a block just after this tunnel here. We have a block there, we have a block in the tunnel there, and all this is already controlled and blocked in. Right, so let's see. So we want a line now that runs from Nashville station. The colour for this one we'll go for red, and we want you to come all the way up north into Knoxville just here. There we go. So into Knoxville. Do we have a spare passenger platform available? We do. This one here, as we can see, which it's already dedicated itself to, so that's fantastic. No need to change anything there. How are we looking down here? Now, what I'm just looking at here is, could we make use of this track, which doesn't have any... No, we can't. It just stops rather abruptly. Because as we can see down here, well, it's only 2 services coming in that way. Here is a lot busier, as we can see. We've got the return back to Nashville heading this way. And we have this yellow service, which I've forgotten which it is. It's been a couple of weeks, like I said. And we have the blue service, which I believe is a service to Carrollton. Well, we'll leave it as they've dictated for now. We can always come back and switch that around later if we need to. This might need quad tracking at some point because it is fairly busy here. I guess this yellow service is the one to, I believe it's Memphis down here. Yeah. So yeah, we might want to think about increasing the track capacity down here. But again, we'll just see how it goes. And if we're getting too held up by one another, then we'll come back. We can always, like I said, put the quad track in. This bit should be fine. We don't have many services running north to south. I think we might have maybe 2, possibly 4 going to Carrollton. And however many we do have on the Carrollton line, we're going to duplicate that on the Nashville line. Again, this should be okay. It's only 2 services coming down here. We've got plenty of blocks along here, so I don't think we're going to have too much of an issue there. As we get back to Nashville, are we on a dedicated platform? Yes, we are, but we're on the short platform, which we want to avoid that. This is what's meant to be one of the mainline services, so let's pop you onto platform 4 instead. And how are you looking? Yeah, that's all fine. I mean, arguably, we could maybe connect that track into here if we got enough space, so the it can come out this way, so this bit isn't shared and isn't so crowded. But again, it's one of those things, we're just going to keep an eye on it, and we can always adjust it later on. Anyway, enough about that, let's get it named up. So do we have, again, it's been a couple of weeks, I'm just have to check if we have special, no we don't, it's just RP for the main line, but we do have main line in the line name. So where are we? Here we are, back to edit. So we are RP, and then we are mainline. And then it's just the town names, isn't it? So that's Nashville, Knoxville, and I believe that is how we are naming them. Yes, it is. You've just got a slash mark there. Let's just change you to the brackets, or whatever the correct term for that punctuation is. Yeah, like that. There we go. Nashville to Knoxville, perfect. We also have Nashville to Carrollton, and as you can see, Knoxville to Carrollton as well as our main lines. Okay, accept that. Now we can go ahead and purchase ourselves a train. Which depot is best to use? Let us see here. We could just give them a new depot somewhere around here. Yeah, I think we'll just give them a new depot. So let's go buildings. In fact, first of all, let's get the tracks, shall we? Let's lay the tracks in first of all. So have you remain at the same gradient like this. Bring you off. The speed on this doesn't matter. It's only for access in and out of the depot. But I say into the depot. You never really send trains back to the depots. You can do it if you want to, but there's no need to. Let's see, no, it's too much curvature. Let's try it that way. In fact, let's do it like that. And then what we can do on each of these is convert them to a double slip switch, like that. And then what we'll do is we want one-way signals there and there. And then we're also going to put one-way signals here and here. And that's so we can dictate which way they go. So if we keep that as one way, the train cannot go that way. And for now, we'll convert that to a two-way signal, so the train can pass that way and head straight down into Nashville. Right, now we want to build our depot itself. So So this should just snap onto the end of the track there perfectly. Wonderful. Bit of catenary there, but doesn't really matter. Just smooth out the terrain here where we've just put that depot, because it has elevated the ground somewhat. There we go, and that looks a little tidier, doesn't it? Right, so let's purchase our train. So buy vehicles. Let's look at the locos first of all. We do have an electric train, but not going to be touching that just yet. Class 9000 is a possibility, although it might be a bit overkill. The Atlantic does the same speed, but a lot cheaper. But as we can see, you're sacrificing a lot of power and a lot of tractive effort for the price. What multi-unit? And we only have the M300 still, so no new multi-units at this point in time. So it's either the Atlantic or the Class 9000. Now, in my head, the Class 9000 is more designed for freight, so I think we will go with the Atlantic. Cargo? Nope. Passenger? Yep. Heavyweight 281 Parlor. I think we'll do that because then it's future-proofed when our locos are capable of higher speeds. And I'm thinking we'll run 5 coaches on this service. It's going a fair old distance, so that should be fine. It will get up to its top speed over its entire run. We also want a caboose on the rear. And shall we start with 2 for 27 million? I think so. And what we'll also do is just give them the paint job to match the line colour. Assign them on said line, and away they go. So, in fact, before we go any further, let's just double check what what locos are we running on the other mainline services. Are you a mainline? Yes, you are, and you are running the Atlantic. So that's what we've been running with. So we'll stick with the Atlantic on these ones as well, as opposed to the Class 9000. So out the first train comes, looking rather nice indeed. Lovely. So they'll do their own thing now, and we'll check back in on them a little bit later on, perhaps in a few episodes' time, once they've had time to bed in and the likes. No passengers yet, but it's only just become a service, so it might take a while for that passenger generation to kick in. Now, Fort Lauderdale to Nashville, as I mentioned, I am toying with the idea of running a tram service down here for this connection, because it's relatively short. We don't have any trams anywhere at this point, and it would be nice to do something a little bit different. So I think we will go with the tram option, and we'll use large country roads. We'll have a tram track, electrified tram line for this, and we're just going to go through and upgrade this connecting road between these two cities, and we'll have it come in this way like so. And where do we want our tram drop-off point to be? I'm thinking we could have it on this street here. So let's switch to town roads and upgrade these like so, and finish off the connection on that one there. And then what we want to do is build ourselves a passenger station here. Tram electric, yes. Can we squeeze that in? We certainly can. Let's get it as close as possible, just to make sure we can also get a connection in on the exit side. Let's just see if we can. Oh, lovely, lovely. And that means this little stretchy road here will also need an upgrade, so let's do that. There we go. Is it electrified? No, it's not. Let's try that again. That's better. So that's all electrified. That's all electrified. They can get down to Fort Lauderdale, of course, which we've just upgraded as well. So that's Nashville. We probably want to do some sort of bus service in Nashville as well, because while that does have pretty decent coverage, it at least covers the station. We're not covering anything to the north of the station here, and there are a few stragglers being missed off down here as well. So a bit of a bus service that runs through as well wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. But for now, let's just head down into Fort Lauderdale. And let's see, I'm thinking we'll demolish a couple of houses here. We'll pause it now because they do have a tendency to build back pretty quickly. And we'll go ahead and have the station in that area just there. Let's just configure it and put in the exit point there. And then let's go back and upgrade some of these roads here. So we want electrified tram line down here, here, and here, perhaps up there. That road will need upgrading as well, and what the heck, we'll just loop it around just for completion's sake. And then it's just a case of connecting in with electric tram track to here and here, and then finally giving that a connection with electric tram track like so. So what are you calling yourself? Fort Lauderdale Halt. Let's call you, Fort Lauderdale Halt's actually not too bad of a name, we'll keep that. And what is our station called up here? Nashville Halt. Yeah, why not? Right, we can restart now. We've got what we needed, so if they want to build in and around that, that's absolutely fine by me. Your coverage is almost a blanket coverage, apart from a few down here, so we don't need to worry about a bus service yet, although at some point we probably will. What we do need to worry about, however, is a depot for all of this. So let's go buildings. We want a tram depot with catenary, yes, and we'll put it somewhere out of town, like. In fact, let's set it back, because then what we can do is we can connect it in, and we can then manually remove the traffic lights that it's going to generate just there. So let's do that. You need it to be electrified, so we'll change that there. Go into here and remove that set of traffic lights like so. And now we can set up this tram service. So we're coming Fort Lauderdale Halt through into Nashville Halt. You're not looping around, which is unfortunate. So what we'll do here then is, well, let's have you go onto platform 1 there, and then you can come out this way. So we're going to need a couple of waypoints just to marshal them around. Let's put one there, go back to the line. After Nashville Halt, add station, click the waypoint. There you go, you're not turning around in the station any longer. I assume we've done something similar in Fort Lauderdale, but we shall check. Yes, you have. So let's have you come up and around this way, and you can stay on platform 1 then. So again, waypoint just there. And we want, after this, I think this is the best way to do it, if we put it like that. Yeah, lovely. Okay, perfect. That's all done and dusted. So this is our first tram. Now we can't use T because we've got that for our trucking line, so we'll use M for this, for Metro. And this will be the Fort Lauderdale back and forth and Nashville Metro. Okay, wonderful. Let's go ahead and get some Metro or some trams to run this. It's going to be the Peterwich streetcar by a country mile, and I think we'll go for 6. They're not as fast as the trains, of course, so we want to make sure we have a decent frequency on this, and I think 6 is going to cut it. The colour is, I think it's that shade of green there, so we'll give them the same colour scheme and assign them on the way. And here we go, our very first Metro on the map. Very nice indeed. Okay, so that's 2 connections taken care of. Nashville to Knoxville, very straightforward, and Fort Lauderdale to Nashville via a tram service, the first of its type. Before we do anything else, I think we want to get that bus service set up for Nashville, because that'll encourage more uptake on the Metro service. So let's go ahead and give ourselves some bus stops in and around here. So we'll put one there, crossover, we'll put one there, come around here, we'll put one right up at the top there, come down here, we'll put one there, come down, one there, and then loop through, obviously incorporating this this station as well. So new line. Man, they're going to be sharing a platform there now. That's awkward. Right then, so we're going to have to just very quickly change this around. And we'll also have to change the waypoints as well. So let's manage the line at Nashville, go on to platform number 2 and remove that waypoint. And what we'll do instead is put a waypoint down there. Back to the line management. So as you come in from Fort Lauderdale, before you go to Nashville Halt, we want you to hit that waypoint there. If we can select it. It's a bit fiddly. Come on, let's just zoom in, that'll be easier. That's better. That's nice and tidy. Okay, now we can go back. Did we start a new line? Let's see. Yes, we did, line number 1. So let's start adding this together. So first stop is going to be Nashville Halt, of course. Then you're coming out to North Street, up to this stop here at Center Street, around the top to Poplar, into 12th Street, Valley Street, and then you're back into Nashville Halt, and that's a nice tidy loop system right there. So what are we calling our buses? It's just the town name and either bus service line, whatever, or even just a number identifier. So we'll stick with that. So B for bus, and this will be Nashville Loop 01. Because of course we might end up having extra bus services in Nashville at some point. Do we have a road depot? Yeah, we do, right here. Buy vehicles, passenger. It's going to be the Schneider. I suppose we could go for a stagecoach, but I don't think we will. And I think 5 will be enough here. It's that sort of yellow there, I think it was, like a sherbet yellow. And on their way. Okay, so that's that. How's the uptake? Oh, we've got our first 2 passengers. I assume they're our first 2. Unless somebody has left already with some passengers. Ah, yes, you've got 3. In fact, you might even have some on you as well. Nope, you're running empty. Well, that's fine. So that's that taken care of. That's that taken care of. What are we up to? Probably about 20-25 minutes. So I think we've got time to connect into Green Bay as well. We have plenty of open platforms here in Green Bay. This is a freight line, which we really don't want to get tangled up with. What do we have here? The Alco HH600, a little shunting diesel. Don't think we have any use for that, but we do have the Ford Model 77 trucks now available. They could potentially be an upgrade on our current fleet of trucks. So before we get our teeth stuck into connecting into Green Bay, I think it's worth checking whether we want to upgrade our trucking fleet. So let's just pick on a random truck. You right there, managed vehicle, you carry bread. So if we were to replace you, cargo. So at the minute, what are you? You are the Benz tarpaulin truck, so that's you right there. So 25 mile an hour, 35 kilowatt power capacity, and a cargo capacity of 7. What about you? 25 more kilowatt power and ever so slightly higher capacity. So I think we will go ahead and do an upgrade here. Why do we have 2 of the same? I don't know. So yeah, what we'll do, we will upgrade our trucking fleet at this point. Shouldn't have done that. Keep that open. Vehicle manager. Just pop it out. Can we? No, we can't make it any bigger, unfortunately. But we can filter, so we just want road vehicles only. And we don't want buses because they're all fine. So let's just get the bricks first of all. Replace them. We've only got 4 on that one. 2 to Hayward, 3. Well, it is what it is. Let's see. You carry everything. You carry... yeah, quite a varied mixture actually is what you carry. So you can also carry coal. Can you carry food? No, but you can carry grain. Can you carry goods? No, you can't. You can carry grain and iron. And I believe you can carry logs as well. Let's just verify that. Yes, you can. Yep, yes, you can. You can't carry machinery or plastics, but here's 2 more logging lines, so we'll make sure to include them. Can you carry steel or tools? I should just remember off the top of my head at this point. I've seen it that many times now. You can carry steel. You can't carry tools. In fact, that's all of it. So that's the steel right there. So that's all of the ones that can use the flatbed. So bulk, replace, doesn't matter which one, they are identical in every way. So we'll just go for the top one, 22 million, and then we want to do our food, goods, machinery, plastic and tools together as well. So tools, plastics, the machines was the other one. Grain, no. Goods, yes. And food, and I believe that's the lot. And you want the tarpaulin variant. There we go. That's our trucking fleet upgraded. And I think we might leave it there for today, and we'll pick it up connecting it to Green Bay in the next episode. So what do we want to take a ride on? We could take a ride on a tram. It's the first time we've had a tram on our network. We do have one getting close to a station there. Don't think there's anything down here. No, but we do have passengers down here. We have 6 of them, which is good to see. We have a couple at our bus service as well. He just got picked up on our Schneider. 4 of 9, very nice. So yeah, we'll hop on the tram for our cab ride today. Something a little bit different. So we'll pause the date progression so we don't miss any unlocks. Hop on board, and we'll have to get your words out. We'll take a little ride into Fort Lauderdale on our Peter Witt streetcars. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode. It's good to be back recording now that things have settled down, as I alluded to right back at the start of the episode. Like I said, I will start picking up the comments feedback. That's both comments on videos and over on Discord as well, by the way. I've not been active on there at all the past couple of weeks due to how insanely busy things have been. But yeah, I will be able to start picking that back up now. Things have calmed down somewhat. But yes, I do hope you continue to enjoy this series overall. As always, even though I've not been able to check them lately, your comments and suggestions, feedback and the rest of it, more than welcome, either down below in the comments section or over on Discord. A link to that is available in the description of each and every video, so do feel free to check that out. As always, an extra special thank you to those of you who have pledged your support over on Patreon. A fantastic gesture, so thank you very much indeed for that. But for now, all that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.